All right, all right, all right, all right. Let me get comfortable here. Kind of cross up a little bit. So, oh, let me get my timer. Had to get my timer here. I got to set myself for 20 minutes. Okay, again, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely afternoon in which the Most High, Ahia has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall, and I will rest therein. I'm just coming with a little something, something again, and here my little friend. I have to give myself 20 minutes. I want to talk on a topic that I hope can bless someone out there. First of all, I want to let you know that I feel in my spirit this morning, there was something that I felt that the respect is not being and have not been upheld, nor honor, the glory, nor the authority has been seen on the earth regarding Yeshua HaMashiach. And if you knew in the spirit realm what you were dealing with, I don't even think they would even, really honestly, I don't even think they would even have any respect for him even then. Because the Father said if they don't have respect for him, then they won't have respect for you. If they cannot hear him, then they're not going to hear you. So that's, to me, that's a comfort. Because that lets you know that it ain't that you off the track. It's that they ain't going to never find the track. That's really what that's saying to me in the spiritual realm. And what else he was telling me is the fact that they never owned up to the curse in Deuteronomy 28. They didn't own that curse. And that's all that the righteous one were to do, own that curse. And when you own it, you're saluting the idea that the will of the Father, you salute, you honor, and you can see into why the curse was orchestrated in the way that it was orchestrated for a people. See, this is when you have owned the curse itself. He was explaining to me 99.9 refused to even see the curse, even the end game, let known the beginning when he was pleading with the people. So all of this is like comfort to me to know that this is not a form where people, this is not a way that people are going to awaken to the voice of Sister Deborah or the voice of any prophet or prophetess. We're going to still, it's still going to line up like yesterday, meaning we're still going to be what Ahia has called us to be. And our example comes from yesterday prophetess and yesterday prophet. We're still going to be that whether people accept or not, because that's how it was and that's how it is. It can't change who I am. It's not going to hurt me or destroy me because people don't take heed for toward what is being said to them by the ones that Ahia has ordained, predestined, and has placed in the midst of them as his servants. So what he was sharing with me this morning is they don't have no respect for him. So when they don't have no respect for the Most High, they ain't gonna have no respect for you nor what you say. They haven't heard me. They haven't owned that curse. They haven't owned nothing that I have said. But you know what he revealed to me? Something I cannot say I knew. Something that's very powerful that I wouldn't never really gotten it had not he revealed it to me. But I found it to be very powerful and deep. And that is this. He was saying to me when he got me to go back in and do the study. One of the studies this morning he got me up in, and it was in rule over. And he was dealing with me on that, and he gave me about 15 verses on rule. And he was saying they failed to realize that when the Son of Man and the Son of Yah came as the Father's will, it really destroyed a lot of things that was. And he said because they didn't have the respect for Yeshua HaMashiach, they still don't have the respect today because they want to drag their own way into that which changed after Yeshua HaMashiach came on the scene. A lot of things were done away with. Okay? And even greater things were done away once the Ruach HaKodesh hit the scene. That means that a lot of things that people think that they still rule over and control, a lot of things Ahia has changed. You remember Leviticus 18? You probably couldn't get probably one male to go into Leviticus 18 and read it from the beginning to the end of Leviticus 18 and then go back in and see Abraham marrying his kinfolks, Jacob marrying his kinfolks on his mother's side, just people from their bloodline of their mother and their father, their family members. It was destroyed come Leviticus. You see what I'm saying? Leviticus 18. But you would never hear a pastor, a bishop, a preacher, a teacher, Maureen, a watchman, a seer, a apostle, a pastor, a teacher. No one would ever cover that because they don't believe Ahia can move out of the way their ways of the flesh. They think he has to make sure every way that man portrayed after the sin, that it was righteous in the eyes of Yah, because he didn't call it to be unrighteous. Throughout the whole biblical, from Genesis to Revelation, 85 or more percent haven't been called out as righteous or unrighteous. But you can see when the spirit of truth comes in you and live and teaches you it from the standpoint of how heavens orchestrated it and how started it in Genesis 1 and 2, it'll give you the keys to how it should have continued. That's why when Yeshua came on the scene and they went talking about a written decree, now don't forget, who told them that? The same one that wrote the whole New Testament, as they call, I don't call it old or new, but they call it the Old Testament. The same one who wrote the Old Testament told the men that they can give a written decree. Why was he telling them that? Because they already had an evil, wicked heart. So he said the words that pleases the wicked evil of their heart. A lot of y'all don't know that. And then Yeshua was like saying to them, wait a minute, I know Moses told y'all that. But the only reason why he told you that is because you're on the side of wicked and evil. And they were portraying things exactly that way. They were, even though they was trying to not intimidate, but in a sense trick Yeshua, they were still speaking the way that they were living. They didn't have no problem going into a woman, doing what they want, then come out, go get them another one. They didn't have no problem with that. Moses said they can give a written decree. And Yeshua, I like what he said, and which is very, it don't sound like a word that give these men a mindset of anything clear. It shows you their mind is not there. Because he said, have you not read? You see, he's letting them know, wait a minute, whether Moses told you or not, but then you read it yourself. And that's where the men are today. They don't search anything to really find out, wait a minute, is this righteous? They just go by what another man tell them. Look here, look at this. Precept here, line here, look here, look what this say. Bring other books out, y'all. Look what this say. Okay. When is the book going to outride spirit and truth? When is that book going to outride the Ruach HaKodesh that shall come and teach you all things? That means there's no room in you to be taught by the Ruach HaKodesh because you have forsaken the one that would come and be the true teacher of all things. Why? Because he knew that man is not to be trusted with the word of God. He said, you can get man to teach you this book. You can get man to teach you this book and any other book. You want to trust him to do that? You do that. But when it comes down to the word of Yah, hold up. Wait for the Holy Spirit to enter therein, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. No one wants that because they turned on by how they can deceive people from the book. That's why they can battle you with the book. That's why they can debate with the book. See, the book can be debated because the book is not the word of Yah. You get it? See, and that's what a lot of people don't know. They don't know it, and they're not going to know it because we're in the late hour, running into the minutes of the Most Highest orchestrated will. So if they don't know that by 2028, 2023, they're gone. They're gone. There's no coming in. If they didn't come in the year of 2023, it's no way in because they didn't make it. Because they forsaken the Father for so long, to man has embedded so much precept, line, little here and little there out of the book. And he never told them that spirit and truth is going to come by studying. Spirit and truth is going to come by a book, going to come by a man. Spirit and truth is going to come by no other way outside of the Ruach HaKodesh. And they traded over to have man, just as our forefathers did. They want idol gods. A man, a woman, they are idol gods to you all because you choose to understand their words out of their mouth. And that was his whole purpose of saying, put your trust in no man. He's saying, you see this Bible? You can trust man to teach you this. Oh, yeah, you can trust him. But when you come down to the word of truth, spirit and truth, you can't trust man with it because that's come through the Ruach HaKodesh. And if he thought for 1 minute you can take this book and trust man to give you spirit and truth out of it, then the Ruach HaKodesh wouldn't come to have to live in us and be greater in us. If he thought man could give you spirit and truth of the whole matter, only one knows that is Ahaya himself. Even Yeshua told you all the time he came, all the time he was here. He said, this is my Father's. My Father will. This is his word. This is his power. He kept referring us back to the Father. But we today, we look for everything out of the bosom and the loud mouth of men and women and refuse the Ruach HaKodesh. But it's okay. It's okay. It's all well. Because like he said to me, you tell them the year 2023, if they don't know who they stand with, it's just like Moses coming down off the mountain, throwing the tablets down, going to Aaron. What did you do, Aaron? Levi, come on, bring the sword up. Separate. Time to separate. Who's on a higher side? Are you on the side of the flesh of man? Or are you on the side of the spirit of Yah? See, that's what they don't understand. When he said we fight not against flesh and blood, but principalities in high places, he's letting you know that the war is spiritual. While you losing the war in the spiritual realm because you dealing with the fleshly realm and you playing and tapping into the flesh and you don't even, you dying to your spirit. Because you're sitting here tapping in everything of the flesh of man and ain't tapping in of what comes from the Ruach HaKodesh, which he say, I will come and I will teach you all things. I would abide in you. And this is how you know that man has really fell under the knee. Their knees have bowed down to man. Is because, and they begin to worship man. It's because they don't have the spirit of Ahaya that represent the Ruach HaKodesh. He said that I will come and I will comfort you. That comfort is so awesome. It's so powerful. That's just like say any situation I get in, I can think him to bring me comfort, and he will bring it. If a man had a problem with his wife, bam. If he has the Ruach, he can turn to the Ruach. If a wife had a problem with her husband, she could turn to the Ruach. You see, the true comforter, the true teacher, to show you, because he knows your wife, he knows you, he knows your children. But when a man turns to a man to tell him and to lead him how to be a man, and think that that's what it takes, Ahia say, sell on. He don't see no room for him to abide in the individual, because you got your idol God to direct you and to lead you and to show you things and to guide you. The Ruach does not come to abide in people who believe that their way of teaching, their way of wisdom, their way of knowledge, their way of understanding is mixed in all abode with their emotions and with their feelings and their personal opinion. And then they feed the plates, tell the men, and gather around. Here's your plate. Eat as much as you want, as much as you desire. They get so full. Each time they have that meal, they get so full. There's no space for the Ruach HaKodesh, said the Father. They have eaten from the plate. They have thirst from the cup of man, to where they have not heard a word that I have to say. So therefore, he says, leave them alone. Let them feast from the mouth and the flesh of man. That's the idol God that got us where we're at now. Our forefathers did the same thing. They always wanted an idol God. And that's why we're still stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient, and want to do our idol God. Because it's already rooted in us through who? The fathers. He didn't say the foremothers. He said the fathers. You see? Because he knew that that's how it's going to continue to repeat itself. So therefore, when you get situations like this, you get men actually trying to train up a man based on their personal opinion, their personal feeling, their personal wisdom, their personal knowledge, their emotions, their feelings, and their ways. And Ahia is saying, leave them alone, let them grow together. But I tell you this, what came to me when I was I made me some roast, and I put a lot of onions, and I really did, y'all. And I said, as I was doing that was just a few minutes ago, it was just telling me how all of the people who's going to fall when that tree that many men and women sat up under, innocent or not innocent, they're going to fall with the same tree. That means when the system come up on one, and they coming, and whether it's tax purposes or zone purposes or cold purpose, they coming, y'all. They coming, and they're not coming to play patty cake. Ain't nothing that someone has in the year 2003 that the system ain't coming after. Anybody that got and have things that have took people so far out into the deep and worship them and serve them, and the materialistic thing, they put them on high to give them what they can see and believe, and they wanted to hear from this flesh and believe. How you sitting over here on this side. Now we're going to see the outcome. Oh yes, the Father going to allow it to come to pass. It ain't that he's going to allow. He already allowed it, because he's letting me know as I speak. Deborah, heaven's already orchestrated this. I saw it before it was. So that's going back to what he said at the beginning. They don't have no respect for his power, his authority, or who he is, because they so busy being on the back of a man and supporting the flesh of a man that they can't not support righteous belief, faith, and fear, because it's not in them. So they have no other choice but to use a man as their idol God, and let they serve him and his rules, his regulation, and what he teaches them. That's why the Ruach ain't came to abide in them to teach them spirit and truth, is because they desire an idol God. And they saw the things in which one can offer them, and they desire the materialistic things, and therefore they rest therein. So Sister Deborah, we'll be back with another video. Yes, I will. And I hope you got something out of that. So I, Sister Deborah, says, shalom and shalom.